Welcome back, everybody. This is MDawg. Thanks for putting up with me in my leveling series. This is going to be another episode in our 2021-2022 leveling guide. If we do another leveling guide later in 2022, we'll have to call it something different so it's not so confusing. But I knew that this one would stretch between... Oh, goodness. Norbert. All right. Norbert has sent me a bunch of baits. To be fair, the only baits that I don't already have access to, I mean, it's a lot of bread and egg dough. Egg dough is one we don't have access to, and pea porridge. So I'll try not to use those baits till we at least unlock the ability to make them. I try to stay... free to play, quote unquote, no free gifts, that kind of thing on these accounts. But that is very kind of Norbert. And of course, he sent me a few potatoes too, just wanting me to get in trouble, I'm sure. With how is the fair still going on? Can we talk about that for a minute? All right, I'm done. No, I really thought they had said through the 11th, but maybe I totally read it wrong. So I think what we want to do here, how much silver do we have? Plenty of silver. Actually, I think what we want to do is focus on leveling ground bait. What time is it? 5 in the morning. Yeah, this is awesome. So we will start with weird stuff during the day, and then we will end with bream fishing in the evening, and then that'll be the close of this episode, I think. Every day, like another one or two things gets added to the sale list. Very odd. I'm really curious if this is like, if someone is choosing what's for sale, or if this is similar to the like fish migration. It's just like a computer software program that's just like random, boom, add 2 or 3 things today. Randomly, add 2 or 3. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird. So I think what we want to do before we go back to Old Berg is buy a bunch of crackers and just try to burn through making ground bait. So second level components will be at 15%. We're only at 4.9, so we need a lot of crackers. And at second level, we can use feed, which I think I have a good bit of feed already. 10. We need more than that, obviously. But we need crackers to get to 15. I wonder how many we'll need. I mean, you can't really overbuy crackers at this level because you're going to end up... Let's just get 50 of them and see where that puts us. Let's just do that. Let's see where 50 puts us percentage-wise. And then I guess the other question is for bream fishing, is there anything we want to... Do we want to make like 10 stacks of some sort of like versatile ground bait? We can't use chopped worm yet. We can do maggots. So if we were going to do some fake tench, we would want to have what? Maggots? We'd really want to have cheese on there, but we can't yet. Would we put corn, or is that too risky for carp? It's a little risky. We do want to get millet porridge for our bream, fake bream. I wish we could use peas. We'd put that in fake bream in a heartbeat. And then more maggots for the bream. And I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else we can use yet, right? We can do semolina, ground crackers. Do we ever use semolina for tench? Or for bream? We could try it with bream. I've tried that before. It doesn't seem to work any better, but we could try it though. Could actually try it on both. It's a little more expensive is why I normally don't do it though. But we'll try some for both. Okay, I think we're good. So If I'm not mistaken, yeah, we've got this set up for tench, but we're also going to catch carp. So we're going to go get in. We're going to go get in some trouble here. Let's see how this goes. Let's go ahead and get our rods in the water. We'll double check the cafe just for curiosity's sake, and then we'll go get rods in the water. Okay, so if we get a really nice tench, we've got a good order to go with it. We also have 27 hours left on this Bream order, so the minute we get it, if we do get it, probably want to run up here and turn it in. Other than that, not too much interesting. Let's go ahead and hope that we're going to avoid that grass carp order. Okay, so I think in the last episode I introduced this idea that even though we're low level, if you want to get a little experimentative, if you want to experiment, if you subscribe to experimentation, you can set up a classic hair rig. So you change it by clicking on this and then click on classic hair rig, which I've already done. Just as a quick reminder, because we are at 35% or higher, or is it 30? I think it's 35. We can use classic hair rig for bottom fishing. And we have small honey boilies and mountain honey dip. We're going to put this at 8 meter clip, and we're going to try to catch tench. Unfortunately, the other thing that we will likely catch is carp, so we can get in trouble with that and chase fish all over the place, or, you know, Alt F4 or travel to another map real quick or something. All right, so on our other rods, let's go ahead and do this first. Let's go ahead and make some fake tench mix and see what we want to put in there. I kind of do want to try it with semolina, and I guess we were going to do corn and maggots. Do tench prefer caramel over sunflower oil? I wouldn't think so. I don't think we want to get super sweet. All right, so let's make a couple stacks of fake tench. All right, we need to get some more sunflower. Wait. Let's see what's going on here. There we go. That's safe. That's safe. More of that, please. We either want crucian or tench or gibbles. All right, we did make that, so we can go ahead and put, let's see, fake tench. 8 is fine. What other baits do we want to try? Do we want to try cheese? I think sweet dough. Was sweet dough what was working? I don't know. I guess we could just look on the weeklies really quick. We could also look on the Oldberg all time to get an idea of things that have worked. It's weird. Tench, it's a lot of stuff will work. Look at that. Red worm. So we could try red worm and cheese. That's actually all recent. So we'll try cheese on this one. Again, we're going to go about an 8 meter clip here. I think we could have gone a little bigger, a little smaller hook size to be a little safer, but it is what it is. And what was the other thing we were going to try? Red worm. I don't remember tench often being so big on red worm. I might just not be remembering it, but that's a bit of an odd one for me. Did we put the tench? Yeah. All right. By the way, we could catch those crucian on much cheaper bait combinations, right? This is really more for fun. I don't know that I'd even recommend you doing this if you're a new player, but just to keep it varied, sometimes I like to do weird stuff like this. I must have the volume just kicking right now. All right, what were we gonna get? Sunflower. And then we can start, then we'll craft our fake bream, and then we'll just start crafting crackers to level it up. First fish on red worm is a crucian. Cheese is going to be the quietest if tench aren't biting. Okay, so let's make our one more thing of fake tench. And now we'll go to fake bream. I don't know. I think it probably works better with crackers, but we'll give this a try. Red worms are doing some work here. Overall, this may be a little slow. However, if we're sitting here making a ton of ground bait, that's kind of okay. All right, so now we're just doing trash ground bait. The only thing, so to level up ground bait, there's two steps to this. The first step is using just crackers until you level it up high enough where you can use feed. And then after you can do feed, you'll switch this out with feed, and then you'll use whatever the cheapest attractant is that you've most recently unlocked. And you can basically do that all the way up to the top. But for now, we're doing crackers. And I'll try to stop every few and see if we've got a fish on and just take a break from this screen. But so far we're hitting percentages every point. So this is the cheapest way to level this up. Pretty consistent leveling. Crackers are inexpensive. It seems like a waste, I know, but it isn't, because once you get the better ground bait ingredients available to you, you can do a better job of targeting and catching higher quality fish. So it's totally worth it. And by the way, notice so far we got nothing on cheese, and the boilies have been pretty slow. We've caught two crucians so far on the boilies. So we may end up changing that. Changing the cheese out. We'll give it a little bit more time. Not a tench to be had yet. We could try a different spot. I don't know. I mean, it's also a little late in the morning now. When we first put the lines in, that was like ideal tench time. So yeah, the red worms are just going off. So what do we want to put instead of cheese? What do we want to try here instead of cheese? I know we've used like semolina to some pretty good success, right? And also pearl barley. So maybe we just put one of those two on. Now, if the tench starts showing up, you know, we'll throw on the cheese again. But for now, I think with cheese, we're just like asking for trouble on a big grass carp or something. So let's go semolina. Do we have a 10? We've got a 12. We could go 12 instead. I think that's probably smart. Is that a tench? As soon as we take the cheese out, suddenly we get a tench. That's cool. Not big enough for the cafe order, but that's cool. Alright, I guess I'll just keep the semolina in for now. I mean, we could throw cheese back on, but it's not like the tench have been jumping out, so. Alright, let's see how many more crackers we have left. 38. Is this going to get us to, like, let's see, what would be the goal? Can we get to 12% on this many crackers? If we get, you know, a bunch of 0.2s and we're getting hits every time, we could certainly hit that, right? All right, let's see if we can get to 10% here, and then we'll see what we have left. All right, so there's 10%, 10.1. We still have 27 left, so. All right, let's see if another tench came in. Okay, another crucian. What came in on the semolina? A little gibble, maybe? And on the red worm. Ooh, that's a quick bite. I have a bad feeling about this fish. So, by the way, once we have made all of the ground bait, and we can go ahead and do it now, but if you want to get rid of a bunch of stuff in your inventory at one time to make easier, you just click this button down here, and then that's why I named the ground bait trash. So starting right here, click on one, left click on it, and then hold down shift and click again with the last one you want to throw away. So see how it highlights all of them, and then you can just hit the discard, and it'll just throw away those 22 items. They're suddenly gone. Yeah, I had a feeling this might have been. Now we can hope this is a tench, but I think it's also very possible this could be a grass carp. I kind of want to see if I can maybe get in front of it. Force it back the other way. Oh, it's still swimming this way, isn't it? It's just determined to go this way. So this is the downside of using boilies. There's still an outside chance that this could just be like a really nice tench, but I doubt it. Alright, now if we can just keep it. We don't want it to go behind that island. Which we may not be able to stop it, but that's the hope here. We'd love for it to like swim back the other way. See how it's still going? It's like it's almost programmed just to swim right back behind that island. I do think there's a lot of times where you can turn them around, but not this fish. It seemed oblivious to our directions. It has turned now, by the way. That doesn't mean it won't turn back. In fact, it looks like it has turned back. So anyway, you can throw away a bunch of stuff out of your inventory. This fish is determined to be behind the island. I don't really know why it's doing that, but it is. So now we have to be careful. If it starts getting tired, we don't want to pull it up onto the island. It's very tricky from here. We may just get spooled, but that's not to say you can't just use ground bait that just has crackers on it. I choose not to, but I mean you can. It's not going to hurt anything. You can even just throw them out if you're float fishing. I don't think it's going to scare any fish away or anything like that. But so the fish looks like it's right in front of us, but it is actually on the other side of the island over there. Which that was the one thing we were trying to avoid, and it seemed like the fish was just programmed to go back there. I think we will just get spooled here. It depends on how much. It may not have room to spool us, but it might. That's a pretty deep. That's pretty far back there. 1 second. Okay, I have no idea where we are. So I had to make a work call, which my work situation is just a little different right now, where there's not quite as like firm lines of when I'm not having to answer the phone and help people versus in the past when I've had a little bit more defined lines of when I was off. So I apologize for that. The other thing that just happened is I thought I was unmuted, but I was muted already. So now I'm not sure how long that was the case. So I apologize. You may have watched that whole grass carp fight without being able to audibly hear what I was saying, which I'll sum it up. What I was saying is it's not worth it. Everything we were going through there is not worth it. We were stuck on that rock, obviously, and stretching it as far as we could without spooling ourselves to try to get across that bridge to let it out, which we finally did. But, and it's a nice fish for this gear and all that, but, not worth all that. So if you're new to this game or around this level on your main account, probably just stay away from boilies if this is the strength of the gear you have. Because you might catch a few tench like that, but you're gonna get caught with a common or a grass carp like we did. Which is also interesting in this bream spot that we had that common carp. Not what you want to see. If that was 2 or 3 or 4 kilos bigger, again we'd be in trouble, and it would have darted right across behind that island. So. Again, I'm sorry for all of the audio off and on, but hopefully you're able to enjoy the visuals from fishing even when you're not hearing the commentary. And I will go back and preview this video and make sure that I haven't been muted just like the entire time. On the other hand, some big things have happened, so I don't want to completely cut this video out either. I mean, we hit a new level, and we've caught some really nice fish, even though one of the fish took up the majority of the time. So we have 2 points now, but we are max leveled in fishing with a feeder rod. I think at least 1 point goes into spinning reel. But I am going to think about this either for a few minutes in this episode or maybe even preparation for next episode. We know that Corey's coming up. And so again, the spinning reel helps with that. I just hesitate to put, even though we're going to be fishing with a spinning rod at Corey, I hate to put points in there at this point, knowing how heavy I lean into bottom fishing. So to me, the options are probably between 1 or 2 points in spinning reel, and then maybe even holding on a point till we hit 50%. I do like inline quite a bit. I usually end up putting points in inline and in loop rig. Eventually, I would probably have them in simple as well, so you could do that. I just don't think I would put them in paternoster. I like paternoster, but I like loop and inline better. So in the long term, I'd rather not put the points there now, knowing that I'd want to move them later. Which, I need to switch these two, or no, just this one. This one is on basic bottom instead of paternoster. I'd rather have them all three on paternoster for bream, I think, over basic bottom. So we were able to, turn in that bream order, so that's good. Hopefully we'll get a couple more decent bream, make some more silver, and then I guess we still have a good bit of ground bait to make. So whatever silver we make from here on out will probably go towards crackers and then feed so that we can keep leveling this up. The hope is to level this up aggressively enough that we can actually make bream ground bait or a variation of green ground bait while we're still at the level that you're likely to be fishing for a lot of bream. So that's the hope. Okay, it's a pretty good one. The other thing we're doing a little different right now is we are using the ground bait with the semolina base for our fake bream ground bait right now. Seems to be working fine. I mean, obviously we had a really good night last episode using the cracker base fake bream ground bait, but change that to paternoster. So I'm curious what we're going to get to on ground bait before we run out of these crackers. Let's see if this fish bites pretty quickly. We'll reel it in and then we'll try to make a few stacks real quick. We've got nibbles on all three, so hopefully we'll pull in all three and then make some ground bait. We also probably want to sneak in you know, one more little bit larger size hook so that we can put a bigger one on this one, and then we'll move the 8 down to the one on the end. So right now we've got 4, 8, and 10. I'd like to go like 3, 4, and 8 or something like that, I think. All right, that one's still, oh, it's got a fish on now. Is this a kilo? Yeah, just at a kilo, I think. That's what we want. Man, the bite rate is so good. It's hard to make ground bait right now. Let's make a few stacks, though. Maybe we'll have a couple fish on by the time we get finished. You never know how long those nibbles are going to last. So there's 11.5, and we still have 20 left. This is going way faster than I thought. This is great. It's just because we're so consistently getting points, and oftentimes we've been getting 0.2. So getting to 15% seems like it's going to be a breeze unless we start missing some. $13.5 with 10 left. $13.9. Wow. Maybe by default it just gives you 0.2 every time at this level. I just wasn't anticipating it going up this fast. There's 15%. That is awesome. So now we have more ingredients we can mess around with. Ooh, sounds like a good one's on line 1, by the way. Hopefully it is a bream and not some other species. Let's just go ahead and get this one in too if we can real quick before we address the other one. I mean, I hope it's a bream. It's a good one if it is. Yeah, it must be. If it was a carp, it would still be. It'd still be fighting pretty aggressive. Are we really down to 25 garlic dough? Well, that's exciting. We need to make some more of that. I have the garlic still from winding, so yeah, it's a decent one, right? 2.5 kilo, maybe even 3. Looks pretty chunky. 2.6. So, just curious, how many crackers did we have left? So we've still got 2, and we want to go ahead and throw all of these out. That all the way down to this. Let me make sure. Yeah. Still have the possibility of getting 1 or 2 more decent ones. 6:30 a.m. All right, so what are the new ingredients that we just opened up? Second level components. Pearl barley, which is the actual mixture that you're supposed to use in Bream mix. Feed, which is what we'll use to level up more quickly. And then additives, we can now use wheat, cheese, and egg. Cheese is good for fake tench mix. Also probably okay for Bream. And then milky cream attractant, which I've not used a lot. I feel like that would be off-putting to a lot of things, but maybe good for some stuff. And then once we get to 30%, so 15 more percent basically, then we'll be able to do full blown Bream mix, because you add the peas and the anise oil finishes it off. Yeah, this is another one that's a kilo, I believe. Yep. And another one. This spot is great right now. And we even missed part of the night, and we turned 3 in for that cafe order. And I bet we're still at, let's see, I shouldn't bet, let's just look. So that's 4, 10, 11, 12 over 1 kilo. So basically 15 over a kilo. This will make 16 if it is, and miss the first 2 or 3 hours of the night. So that's 15. It's great. Now we could keep going and maybe sneak out a couple of more, but it's getting pretty close to 8 a.m. and to me that's when you start seeing the downturn. So I'm going to go ahead and, especially since we've been going so long, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it now. So let's go sell our fish. And yeah, I'll have to decide for next episode, are we going to do sort of the same thing, keep trying to bring in the silver and leveling up ground bait, or do we want to do something different? We can also probably go ahead and trash our fake Bream ground bait and just make the new fake Bream ground bait now that we can use pearl barley as the base. So, oh, that's perfect. So that's almost 5 silver, plus we got 35, so that's basically 40. We needed one more sleeper, but that's okay. Alright, so 40 plus... So think of all the damage we did to our reel and how long that took. That grass carp's only worth 9 silver. Less than a silver more than our next highest bream. But 40, so we did 154 silver in the past hour. And, you know, what, a third to a fourth of the time was chasing one grass carp. That's a really nice session there. Puts us up at 184 silver. If we wanted to, we could probably focus, maybe spend the part of the beginning of the next episode, according to what time we log in or whatever, but really just go to winding and just focus using feed and attractant to level up to being able to use actual bream ground bait. We might just skip the other fake ground bait. It just depends on how quickly it happens and how much silver it takes. We'll see though. As always, thanks for watching. Sorry about all the audio miscues here during this episode, but just too much happened to redo it. So anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Tight lines, everybody.